Hello, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Welcome once again to an exclusive. We're in season 5 and this is episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1, a little Latin dancing here and there. Right, so as you know, and of course you guys in Canada, bonjour. As you guys know, an exclusive delves into all things Vincentians. We are in studio for the An Exclusive Hangout, as we mentioned before in season 1. An Exclusive season 5 is dubbed the Hangout. Right? So we're just hanging out with everybody, just doing what we do. And you know me already. I'm thinking about food right now. Big whoop. Anyway, so today in studio, we are going to delve in some serious matters. We're going to be delving into, well, I don't want to say Vincentian because we'll get into that later, right? So we're going to delve into some serious stuff, right? My guest today is Evangelist Liz Mindles, directly.
Hi.
Right? And Dr. Debra Charles, or Pastor Dr. Debra.
Hi, happy independence.
Which part of the title comes first? Pastor or Doctor?
Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Doctor. Okay, yeah, Reverend Dr. Debra Charles. Okay, so as you guys can tell, we have a little flag right there, Yeah, that's all. See it? Yeah. So we're recording just before Independence. Sadly, you guys are not going to see this until after Independence. But happy Independence, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 36 years, Quincy. Right? Yes. So, I will just get to it, have my guest introduce himself. I'll start with Evangelist Liz Mindles. How are you doing today?
I'm really great today. I'm glad to be here with you on Exclusive. And it's a nice, really speaking to a live audience. And it's different for me because I'm always on radio. So television is really a first. Although, I have been on television in Guyana.
Okay.
So it seems like when I go into the islands, like I'm getting to be on television. So I'm saying hi. I'm Evangelist Liz Mindles. Happy to be with you.
Alright. She is already a public figure, so being on TV ain't gonna be nothing new, right?
I think so.
Right. And the Reverend Dr. Debra Charles. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Okay.
Hi, St. Vincent and Canada. It's a privilege to be here on An Exclusive. Actually, it's my first time on television, but I'm not at all scared. Amen.
She's being brave. Amen.
Yes, I'm
Amen.
being very brave. I am Dr. Debra Charles, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, but now residing in the United States of America, and it's fantastic to be here in this lovely island.
Okay, so we're going to get straight to the meat of the matter, right? We're going to start off with women wearing red shoes. I know we did our briefing before, and I did not mention it, and I kind of did that on purpose.
Yes, I know.
Right, okay, so women wearing the red shoes was an international conference that, there, she has a rag, hold it up. See that? Yeah, was an international conference that was just held here in St. Vincent on the 24th of October, right? Visionaire, evangelist, help me out,
co-workers, yes.
Right.
We are workers together.
Okay, so before we get to the conference that just took place here in St. Vincent, right, we want to start where it all started.
It started actually last November, which was 2014. I was on my way to Trinidad to speak at a women's conference, and I had this pair. It's very simple, but it's profound. I had this pair of red shoes that I wore because I'd injured my back, and that's the only pair of red shoes I was comfortable wearing. And one day I went on to decided to put it on again to go to church, and the Lord said, don't wear that ever again because you're too comfortable. It's time for you to move from that to another place. And while I was traveling to Trinidad, he just gave me these words: women wearing red shoes, stepping out of your comfort zone. And it's a time when women come together to be empowered and encouraged, because we kind of carry the mantle in the home. And we have a lot of work to do with the children and the spouses for those that are married, and to keep the business of the house going while we may have a secular job. So it's just a time to come together so that you can just release yourself, be delivered, be encouraged, let your broken hearts be mended. Just a wonderful time of joy. It's a lot of just worship and the word.
Okay, what year did Woman Wearing Red Shoes start?
2015.
Oh, 20. Oh, so
It's not even a year yet.
It's
but we have
fresh.
done at least 6. This was the 6th conference.
Okay, and where are some of the places that you
2 held in New York, one in Albany and one in Brooklyn. The first one we held it in Trinidad and Tobago in January of this year. It was held in St. James, and the second one in Trinidad was held in the southern area. Then we came, we went to Barbados, and then we are now here.
Okay, and can you say Liz? Is that okay?
Yes, you
know,
can
we
say
can
Liz.
make things personal.
And you can say Debbie.
Debbie, yes. So we're
Yes.
gonna be a comfortable Gerani. Oh wait, I forgot to introduce myself. Anyway, you guys know me, Gerani Richardson. Yeah, you can see that thingy right there, right? Okay, so Lizzie, trying to get something nice. By giving you a nickname.
Everybody say Evangelist Liz. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Evangelist Liz. I think it actually feels
Everybody
more.
say Evangelist Liz.
Yeah, Evangelist Liz. Yeah. Okay, so how did you get involved in Woman Wearing Red Shoes?
Well, Dr. Debra, she called and she shared the vision that, the Lord, what she was about embarking upon, what the Lord had led on her heart. And she said that I saw you as being one of the speakers at the conference. So I just came in as being a speaker at the conference. But because of the great resounding response that we got, people already asking back for me to be the speaker again. And so she said, listen, I think that you are connected with this vision. And I've been, for the last 2 years or 3, speaking a lot of women conferences in Trinidad and Tobago and different islands. And that has now been what the Lord has been leading me into. So it was just a divine connection, I believe. And it just took off from there, and this is where it is history now. Here is where we are.
Okay. And in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, what was your connection to St. Vincent when you came here?
Oh, that was Deaconess Ruth Constance from the Rehoboth Ministries International.
Okay. So they have
They were our host, yes.
Okay, so they have hosted this event. What was it like on the night of the event? I mean, I didn't get to make it because I was actually at work, and I really wanted to come, but I didn't get to make it. But I'm here at work, and my phone would go off, and I see somebody, and I'm like, and then Twitter went off, and I checked Twitter. It's like, oh, woman wearing red shoes. I'm like, wow, everybody's enjoying this. Then I get a Facebook notification. I was tagged to this thing and telling me, oh, how I'm missing out. I mean, women wearing red shoes, but men were invited, So
Yes, it's just the woman wearing red shoes, but men are invited.
Right. So now that we have that cleared, thank you very much. Let's move on.
It was interesting how the leg of the St. Vincent happened, because when we were coming in, we were on the plane, Liat, coming into St. Vincent. My husband said, oh my God, leave island at any time. And I said, no, I'm hoping it's going to be good. But we were delayed from 6 o'clock, 4 hours at the airport. And it's funny enough, while we were at the airport, we met Moet. Moet, I think he works with FIFA. And so we met him, and we started to chat and all that. So we were chatting, and he said somebody's supposed to bring him a package, and quite evidently the package was red shoes, a box of red shoes for somebody in the conference. So we had a running joke saying that the person who had this box held us back, because if the plane had left on time, she would not have gotten that box.
She would not have gotten those shoes.
Wow. So the red shoes, so we came in and we were having that running joke. But when we came in on that night, it was a great surprise of the amount of people that came out. Yeah. Sister Ruth was and her team from Robert Ministries did a fantastic job on every level, and we want to congratulate them.
Shout out to
you, Sister Ruth, and Sister Diane, and Chanel, and all the entire team that had been, and even the guys. The men were great support. The music was on par, and the ministry was tremendous. When I was, the people were just receptive at the ministry, and when it was altar call was made and all that, you saw the women reaching out and crying out to God, and the spillover came that when we went to church on Sunday, some women came from the meeting to Sunday church because they wanted more. One lady said to me after, she said, "My God, you tremendously blessed me." She said, "I'm not a Christian, but at the end of that, you so touched me." She said, "Why did you touch my stomach when you were praying?" I said, "The Lord just led me to do that." She said, "Well, I'm carrying babies, twins, so I needed prayer for that. I was so scared and fearful." So, the Lord just really began to impact women. They began to touch me and say, "After, that you really just touched my life, and we want more of this." And so,
wow.
This is where it was really a tremendous night, Dr. Deborah. The dance, and there was this, what's her name, Little?
Stacey
Little.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brought the house down.
Awesome.
Ministry. It was really a great time.
Yeah, which reminds me, guys, if you missed this and you heard the emphasis on Stacey Little, she would be at the Faith and Favor concert on November 7th at the Hard Court in Newman Shows. I cannot remember the name of the Hard Court right now, but you can find it on Facebook. Just type Faith and Favor and the event must show up. All right, so we're going to touch on that on another episode. We're going to have the artists in studio, of course, an exclusive. We don't miss it. We don't miss anything, right? Okay.
We're exclusive like that.
Yeah, we're just exclusive. We get all the exclusives. Yeah, I like that. We get all the exclusives. I should put that in an advertisement tagline or something. Okay, so now we're going to get down into who you are. Right, so I would start, I start with you before Evangelist Liz. So Debbie, I would start with you. I got it. Yes, Debbie. We're going to start with you. Tell us who you are.
Well, as I said before, I was
from the beginning. We're going all the way from childhood and come up.
Yes, I was born on the 17th of October.
We have a birthday. Are we going to get a year? Are we going to get a year?
1959. I was 56.
Bravest person on my show. I can tell you that.
I turned 56 last Saturday, and I'm still celebrating up until the 31st of October because that's the way I do it.
Yeah, I heard Trinidadians love to celebrate.
Yes, I love to give God thanks for life. And I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and in St. James, what we normally say Port of Spain after that. Went to St. Agnes Anglican School and then sat 11 plus. Am I going far back? All right, and went to St. Francis Girls College. Shout out to St. Francis Girls College. Graduated from there, and then I got married quite early to my childhood sweetheart, as they say. That didn't last too long. But I thank God even for that experience because that has made me who I am, and that's part of my message now. Coming out of a failed marriage, a lot of adverse situations happen, and I'm stronger for that, and I thank God for that. I joined the church life of Christian Union Church from age 12. I started teaching Sunday school quite early, even before.
12.
Yes, like the Jesus age 12. I started teaching Sunday school quite early, even before I was baptized, because I got baptized at 16. Then I went into the youth department, both on a local and a district level, because under Christian Union churches, it's global. We have churches all over the world, but we are under the 4th district, which is the Caribbean. So I was part of the youth department and first and second elder for a few years, and then I migrated to the United States of America. And there I continued in ministry. My pastors, and they saw that I was not going to be just an ordinary member, so they encouraged me to go to Bible school. I attended Open Bible Institute in Trinidad and Tobago for 4 years and graduated with a diploma in pastoral ministries. I don't know how I ended up in pastoral ministries because my vision was Christian education. But God has a way of turning things around. I kept telling him I don't want to be a pastor, but he had other plans. And sometimes we do that. We try to tell God what we don't want to do, and then he has a sense of humor, so he changes our lives. He knows where we are going, and he knows what we are good at. So I stopped fighting after a while and just slipped in to the positions. But I thank God for that. Then I went on to New York and got I did bachelor's in theology, and then I went on to get a doctorate in theology, and it has helped me a whole lot, in ministry. Because while we are in ministry, we must know what we are saying, how we are saying, and as the Bible encourages us to study to show ourselves approved.
Right.
That's what we need to do. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, and you are founder and visionary of the Woman Red Shoes.
Woman Wearing Red Shoes.
I was going to say president, but then I remembered something from yesterday. Yeah, I think something in studio is messing with my sinus. Yeah. Anyway, so Evangelist Liz. So your turn now. So we get a rundown of who you are from childhood to now.
Well, I was born the 8th of February 1966.
These women are really brave.
Yes.
Hey, we look really good for our age.
49 years. I'll be 50 next year.
Thank you very much.
And a lot of people
really young.
do not, say, the doctor said to me, stop. He said, you stop at 35, because a lot of people commend how young I look, and that attracts a lot of young people to me. I think young people being around me keeps them young. Right. And I grew up in a home where my father migrated to Canada before I was born, and my mother and him got married there. She came back to Trinidad where I was, and he never came back. And so she hooked up with my stepdad, and my stepdad raised me. I was raised in a home with a stepfather, but he treated me very, very well. He took very good care of me, sent me to school and everything like that. So I had a good experience with my stepfather. And but my mother and him did not work out. And so I had that broken home from about 12, in that broken home, and I had other siblings in the relationship. But he was always in their lives. He never left. He always took care. He was the father that was absent from the home, but not absent from the lives of his children. So that relationship still really good. So my sisters and brothers are balanced. We didn't have that kind of all over the place and all that. My mother raised us. She was there in the home, and she didn't have any difficulty with us. She had 3 girls, 1 boy, and we lived in an area called Maloney. And it was, at that time, though, it was difficult for her because she had to work, and I became the one who had to take care of my siblings. I saw my mother do, even though she worked in a menial job, being like a maid, working in an office for a big company. She would always take women in. There was one time we had a woman living with us that was in an abusive relationship and had to run away and hide, and our home was a safe house. And she brought her and her children, and my mother didn't have much money. But whatever she had us and this lady and her children. And there was another time again, there were 2 other occasions that my mother would help women that were, really in dire straits financially. And my mother didn't have much money. So I saw my mother being impacting women's lives with the little that she had. And I don't know if that had the influence of me being so caring to people, but I was like a companion child, being the only one with my mother for a long time before my sister came and all that. And I would always be around ladies who were senior me, and they would always have me around, and I would see what their trauma and what they're going through. And in my life, I sort of had a kind of adverse effect that I don't think I want to get married or men in my life because of that. And so when I was about 16, I felt like the whole world was against me because it was only my mother, and then I had to take care of my siblings. So I had to grow up real fast and be responsible. I was responsible from a very early age. And in school, at that age when I thought I was going to break free, because I wasn't a Christian, and I was, in the one of the churches, I was going to be made a female acolyte, and I was going to teach in Sunday school because I was always religious. You understand? Church, and we would be in the Adventist crusade, or I'd be the Baptist Thanksgiving, with always something to do with church. I didn't like carnival. I was books, always writing some poem, or something like that. It was just that I was quiet and introvert at the time. And
that sounds like me.
My friends would call me Social Dora. Like guys would try to, heckle me or call me out, and I wouldn't take them on and all that. And at the age when I thought I was going to break free and now I'm going to live because I'm 16, going to be 17, there's no father in the house, and that's when God gripped me. I went into school, and my teacher was teaching. So I got saved in the classroom. And my teacher was teaching on circles, tangents, and arcs. I was doing technical TD, technical drawing, class full of guys. And he said, he's a Christian, and he went to church, and he said the Lord had, Pastor Lewis was preaching, that's my bishop, Dr. Michael Lewis, and he said he was preaching on souls and fishing. And he said, get that fish in your mind. And he said he saw me and came to class, and would you believe that's the class I was crawling. I didn't want to be in that class. When they put me in that class, I was really actually crawling. He said, as I entered the door, the Lord said, that one. And so he began working on my life. And so I got saved in school. He brought me to church, gave my heart to God. My family thereafter followed.
Wow.
So all my family is a result of me, that's one, me stepping into church. They all stepped in, and we have never left. We're still, I have one, my sister's a fire officer, high rank in Trinidad. My other sister works in the bank. My brother works in a car company. And everyone is still serving God from that one step I made. After I came, my mother came. And I saw her when my stepdad had left her though. I saw her did something I think also impacted my life. She knelt in the middle of the house and she said 3 times, she looked up in the sky and she said, my God will take care of me. My God will take care of me. My God will take care of me. And she was not saved, but again, religious. And I think this impacted my life so much, and God has been good. From there, I went in, my pastor saw me and he said, time to go to Bible school. But I felt like, Bible school, I'm not good enough for Bible school, because when I left school, because of the trauma of my father not being there, and my stepfather not being there, and being responsible for the home, I came out with virtually 2 passes, English and something. And everybody was surprised because I was not a stupid child or ignorant. I was a good student. And so my teachers were surprised by the pressure of having responsibility, and then after not, I just lost all interest in studying because I was all hurting on the inside. Because when I found out that this is my stepdad now, because when my stepdad came into my life, I didn't know he was my stepdad. I was 2 when he took, he began to raise me with my mom. So I thought this was my dad until my real dad, showed up, and I had to be told. So there was like a conflict of emotions. I met my dad. He lived in Canada, and I was when I met him, I was very angry because I didn't know I was angry at the time. But when I met him, then everything came out and said, you were never there for me. So we go through life and we think things are all handled, but sometimes it's just embedded, it's just suppressed. And so we retaliated, and we got into a big fight and all that. And I was about to go Bible school, but here I'm running like Jonah. My pastor said Bible school, and I said I need to experience life. And when we got into that conflict, I heard the Lord say it's time to go home. I went into a home of a lady that was a teacher in Canada, and because of me, her daughter's life changed. The young people in the church, I started to influence them, their lives started to change. White young people, I was in the church, I was only the black person. You can count the people in the church that were black. And so because of my testimony, every week I was in a different home in Canada, just talking about God. And somebody said, okay, I want you this Sunday. And this was, I want you this. And some of the homes were like Dallas, when I watched on television, some beautiful homes when you went down to the basement, white plush carpet and all that. And God started to expose me from then being a witness for him. And they had a fall festival, and they asked me to sing. I didn't think I could sing, but they asked me to sing, and it really touched people's lives. And then God said,
voice,
you have to go home. You have to go home. And I came back to Trinidad, and then, my husband, that's now my husband, he had wanted to engage me before I left. I said, no, let me see what's going on, my options and all that. And I came back. My dad was angry though, because he said this was the one thing that he would have given to me, because he was getting ready to do my citizenship. I was going to be made, but that's not what God wanted for my life. So when I came back and I got married, I went into Bible school after. I spent 3 years there. I graduated as the valedictorian of my class. I used to be teaching guys from the islands, from St. Vincent and all that, their English when they to get and all that, and that helped me through Bible school. I left there and I was placed into ministry and got married. As soon as I left Bible school in 1990, there was the coup. I was not in Trinidad for the coup. I was in St. Vincent for the coup. I was down in Chateau Belair, living, and I lived there for 6 months. Traveling from Fitzhugh's village to Chateau Belair. We saw the black sand of the Soufrière. To me, it was a real training experience. That was my first missionary outreach. Just got married. 1 week honeymoon, straight to the mission field. Was not easy, but it was really training to bring me to this point. Evangelist Liz Mendez, or Elizabeth Mendez as my name. I'm on radio for the last 14 years. I have 3 children, 22, 20, and 13. 2 boys, 1 girl. And they all in ministry, all definitely wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in ministry. I do drama at home for the young. I put on dramas in schools. Write my own plays. Write funny plays. I like fun. Right. I think church, everything that's supposed to be a pastor standing up in a congregation. I do funny plays. Airport, like when September 11th happened and they were confiscating all your stuff. I did a play on that, funny. And so I do plays. I direct my choir. I have a choir at home. Do that, influence in the directing of the choir. I teach preschool actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I travel. I do crusade. I was in a crusade in Jamaica, incidentally, about 3 months ago. And something really traumatic happened when I finished preaching in that crusade. 2 people that were by the altar left, went home, and there was gunmen waiting and shot them to death. And that rocked the entire village because I was saying that every one of us have.
It is with a sad heart that I have to tell you guys this, that we won't be able to see the remainder of this episode. There was a technical problem. However, I would highlight to you some of the things that came out of this episode of An Exclusive. Reverend Dr. Debra Charles mentioned certain things that you wouldn't have been able to see, including how to get out of an abusive relationship, how to deal with it. And if I can highlight to you guys some of the things that came off was that you should never be silent when you're in an abusive relationship, and find the right person to talk with. Don't go and speak to any and everybody, but you need to speak out. If you don't speak out, then the person who is doing the abusing still has power over you, and they can make it as though you're the one who's causing whatever. If you're in an abusive relationship, start working on getting out. It is not something easy, according to Dr. Charles. It is not something easy. It is not a 1, 2, 3 or a 12-step in getting out of an abusive relationship. But one of the things that you need to do is speak out. You can't be silent, because being silent doesn't help. Further down in the interview, we spoke to Evangelist Liz Mendez, and we spoke a bit about her book, which is I Am Created to Prosper. For those of you who are interested in purchasing the book, you can contact me. I am on Twitter at Jeremy_Zilon. You can find the An Exclusive page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/An Exclusive Interview. And you can also find me personally there. All right, just leave me a message, at least so that I'll know. I have quite a bit of friend who gets there. I deeply apologize for not being able to bring the remainder of the interview to you guys. But of course, An Exclusive will catch them again in 2016, because God's willing, they will be here again in St. Vincent in 2016. They wish St. Vincent a happy independence, a happy 36th year of independence, and they really did enjoy St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right, so for those of you guys in Canada, really sorry you couldn't get to see this, because this would have been an encouragement to so many persons. Yeah, it is actually kind of saddening to me. I actually feel this right now. But thank you for viewing An Exclusive. I am your host, Jeremy Zilon Richardson. And until we meet again next time, God bless.
Soft kisses he would place on my head as I relax on my pillow, and as I lay my head to rest, I give my life to him because he knows what's best. In fact, no demon or form of evil would ever test it, would just lay low, because he is the bread of life, Alpha and Omega, the former of my Genesis, the continuation of my Sega. In my pot, he be that sweet, distinct kind of flavor. Yeah, the one who saves, the one who heals. He knows it all, even when no one knows how I truly feel. Counselor, Redeemer, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. I died in him and he resurrects me. More than a fairy tale, we were meant to be.